Right. Welcome to FTB Sports. This is the Liverpool versus Man City review show. A lot of people thought we probably wouldn't go live tonight, given the results today. Listen, I can't lie. That was a big blow. That was a big blow tonight. Tough result to take.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're Liverpool FC. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't start supporting this club last season when they lifted the trophy. I've been supporting them since as far back as I can remember, right? And we won trophies when I was young, and we didn't win a Prem for 30 years, and I'm still here. So this is not, I'll be here tomorrow. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. Win, lose, or draw. You know what I mean? My team don't walk alone, not without me anyway. I'm right there with them. So, and I'm sure Jürgen and the boys are right now feeling it.
Definitely.
So, you know what? Without further ado, I'm FTB Stitches. I've got Stoney on with me. Stoney, welcome. Thank you for being my wingman on this show, because it's going to be a long night. But let's go. Let's get into it. Let's pick out the bones of it. So, Stoney, when we done the preview show, we talked about scores. I think my prediction was a 3-2 or a 4-2 match. I wasn't far off, but it didn't quite pan out in the way that I thought. I didn't see City beating us. Really didn't.
I think I had my prediction down to 2-1 Liverpool. My prediction.
Yeah, you did. And you know what? It was a game of two halves in the most delectable way that you could describe it. I mean, like, I'll touch on the punditry on Sky Sports, right. And I'll touch on that after. But for me, my personal take, I thought it was a cagey first half. Both teams were feeling each other out, but I thought we edged it. We had more goal scoring opportunities, perhaps not clear cut. We had Firmino with the volley. We had Salah with the header. Two headers, in fact. Two headers he had. So for me, I thought we edged it with the chances. But we didn't capitalise. And, City are a dangerous team, so you've got to be a bit cautious in how you went. But I still thought we went with attacking intent. So that being said, what was your views on it? I mean, second half was what it was. I thought it was in the balance. They got the goal. We were fortunate to get the return. It was a nothing ball from Trent, but Salah's dangerous. You've got to stay alert. I'm a bit surprised that my man didn't get sent off.
Well, I think it was
goal, right?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and be really honest in this, right? I think even when the penalty decision was actually given to Salah, I was probably more focused on the inverted run Salah actually made in order to actually get into the box. So I must admit, even when it was given, my initial reaction was, okay, it's a penalty, but not a sending off. And I'm just going to be honest here. Yeah, for me, I wasn't even thinking that it wasn't even a penalty, because I mean, even when Man City had their penalty with Gundogan obviously taking it, I actually thought Fabinho. I actually thought, who was it who actually got the penalty claim? Because Gundogan took it.
It was Sterling. Sterling cutting in from the left hand side.
For me, and hopefully I'm not. Hopefully I'm not blindsided on it, right? But even when I was looking back at the replay, it actually looked like Sterling kicked the back of Fabinho's foot. But regardless, it was given. I didn't have no qualms with it, because even if you actually look at the reaction of any of the Liverpool players, it was, you know what? All right, it's done. It's calm. Let's just refocus and get on the game.
Absolutely.
So that was by the by. I'm not even going to even make an issue out of that one bit.
All right, fair enough. To touch on that penalty in the first half, on initial watch, I can't lie, I looked at it and I thought to myself, Fabinho took a step with his left foot forwards. His right foot naturally would come up when he's running. And then Sterling ran into it. And I thought to myself, where's he meant to put that foot?
I know. I suppose it's the creative.
I'm watching it again. I thought, he did kind of linger it. Kind of linger it a little bit. So give them the benefit of the doubt. And my sentiments this season has been, if it's a 50-50 decision and it goes to VAR, it ain't coming out in our favour. It's not.
It's true.
I mean, it's not.
And I suppose it was the advanced positioning of Sterling as well, because even if you look at the tight control that he actually had to actually advance into the box, and shifting the ball at that speed. He was always in control. So as I said, I've got no issue with that. Sterling wasn't looking for it. I think he actually wanted to score. Deadeye. It was as simple as that. So I haven't got no issue with that. Not one bit.
Neither have I. Look, at the end of the day, I do feel 4-1 was flattering. It was flattering, but you make mistakes at this level, you're going to get punished. It is what
and
it
especially against Man City as well.
Against Man City, we've seen it before, right? We'll come. We're gonna pick this out. We're gonna pick out the bones. But I just want to review what we said in the preview and where we are now, right? So we didn't see this happening. We thought it was going to be a high scoring. Well, I thought it was going to be high scoring. You thought it was going to be quite tight.
Yeah.
I thought it was tight first half. Second half, it wasn't. We earmarked some players who we felt were the danger men going into the game, right?
Yes.
And I named 3 players, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, but they were all on the score sheet.
Gundogan,
Foden, and
Sterling. Yeah.
And they were the ones that terrorized us. They terrorized
100%.
us. Sterling gave Trent nightmares.
Yeah.
Absolutely nightmares, right? Gundogan was there, just ticking it over, making those runs into the box, doing what he had to do. Foden, you know what? Yeah,
he's nice.
I rate him. I have nothing but respect. Nothing but respect. Like, he's come of age now, isn't it? He's come of age now. For me, when you talk about Grealish, you talk about Maddison, you talk of those players, I put Foden ahead of them. His
performance, he's developed nice. You can obviously see the way that he's being developed behind the scene, and the game time that that Pep's giving him. Listen, he's clearly
you have to applaud him. You have to applaud Pep in that he's managed his minutes very well. He's managed him very well. So credit where it's due. Now, right? Who were our danger men today?
My one, and I'm going to hold my hands up. My one was Thiago. How did you think he did? Boy, okay, so let's remove away that initial tackle that he did on Gundogan. All right. Yeah. I'm glad nobody was injured. Regardless, I don't support Man City, but one thing I dislike any player getting injured, right? So I'm actually glad that he wasn't injured. So I wonder if the early yellow card in the game played on Thiago's mind for a period of time. I mean, what we've probably seen from Thiago so far is a lot of the time when he does obviously have the ball, and I mentioned it in our previous show as well. I love his range of passing. I love his appreciation of space, and he was able to actually do that today. He didn't find himself in a position that he did when we played against Brighton, because they said Brighton lined up. They played a 3-5-2 against us. Yeah. So I think what did City play, the 4-3-3 today? Yeah, they did.
Look that way.
Yeah, so he did actually have space. Did he manage to actually dictate the game how I thought he probably would have been able to? I'll be honest, no. I actually thought he did have a good game, but as he said, he was my person that I was going to had actually put him as being the man of the match. He's still, he's still performing, but we just didn't get the result we wanted. Or for me, I didn't see the man of the match performance that I thought he would have had today.
Yeah, fair. That's fair. I thought he had a decent game. I think in the first half, he was pulling the strings. He was picking it up, spraying the passes, keeping it moving, playing that penetrative pass through the lines where he had the chance to, and kept it moving. But I think second half, City came out with new impetus. You have to give it to them. I think I'm trying to figure out what Pep changed. He did change something.
What he did, the second half, they came out in 4-4-2. So they started with the 4-3-3. In the second half, they came out of 4-4-2. And listen, they came out like a bat out of hell for us in that second half. Yeah, they changed it to 4-4-2. And
I think that's the luxury you have when you have a squad such as what they've got. And unfortunately for Klopp at the moment, he doesn't have that flexibility. He doesn't have that flexibility. But we're gonna like look. There's so much to cover tonight, right?
Definitely.
So much to cover. But let's go straight to a question. First of all, we appreciate all our viewers. Thank you very much for logging onto the show. Subscribe, like, share, spread the news. FTB is here to stay. We've got a variety of shows. We've got something for everyone. This happens to be the LFC post-match preview, but there'll be other club preview shows and post-match shows as well. So please log on to the channel, subscribe so you get notifications about what's coming up. At 8 p.m. tonight, we've got the Carly Osborne show, former Wimbledon player, former Brentford player. Great show where he wraps up the weekend of football and reviews all of the shows. So please support that show as well. Thank you very much. So look, let's go straight in. We've got our first question here that I've picked out because I know there's a few people here throwing banter at us, but we ain't got time for that. We're here for serious talk. So is Roy Keane right about Liverpool being bad champs? Now, I want to preface this with the fact that I wish that someone would invent a button that you could just mute certain
pundits and people. He was waiting for that opportunity.
I was listening to Gary Neville during the first half, making out like if you never watched the game, you would have thought we had the most terrible half of football that you've ever witnessed in your life. This is a man that supports Man United. Saying, I expect more from these two teams and tear. Bruv, your team came to Anfield and parked the bus. I didn't hear that same energy then. I didn't hear you talking that smack then, right? Like, behave yourself. Like, I just wanted to mute him. Right? And then Roy Keane at the end, right? I feel like, like every show has a character in it. Like,
he's waiting for a soundbite.
Sesame Street has got the Grinch.
Yeah.
Right? He's the Grinch of Sky Sports, isn't it? Like, they go, no, it's they're not the Grinch. Thing that lives in the dustbin trap. I can't even remember. The gopher. What's his name? I can't even remember. You know what I mean? The man that lives in the dustbin. Yeah. That's Roy Keane for Sky Sports, isn't it? Like, they were ready to go to him. His face was already like this. Oh, yeah, they're the worst champions ever. He was chatting shit. I was like, bro, tell me another champion that's had, on average, 8 players out at one time from their first team. Tell me a team. I don't know one. Like, put it in the comments if you know. My man was like, it's excuses and rare. It's almost like if it happens to Liverpool, we're not allowed to talk about it.
I know. And the thing is, the thing is, right, you're right about that. And, just to extend on what Stitches was saying, and thank you very much, Don P, for obviously putting that comment. We deeply appreciate that. Roy Keane is not the oracle. All right. He's not the oracle. He is an individual with an opinion, and you can even agree or disagree. And regardless, you can still be able to have a dialogue with him. So just going back to what you say, is Roy Keane right about Liverpool being bad champions? My answer is no, it's not. People are going to be out there looking for shots. People are going to be out there looking for reasons why we're not actually performing in the way we are. All right. These are facts. So it's not even a case of that the Liverpool football family are talking about the injuries we've had. These are facts. They're there. They're clear on the internet. It's not us. It's not me. It's not me and Stitches making this up. It's actually there.
Do you not feel though at certain times like if it's Liverpool, we're not allowed to say anything's wrong?
No, we're not.
My man said that we've been the worst champions, defenders of our titles in a COVID season.
Yeah.
With what we've had to go through. Has anyone else had to defend their title in that circumstance?
And the thing is, even now, this is all hindsight as well, right? And that's what I was saying. Okay, so we don't have a crystal ball, right? So as he said, Roy Keane's made his comment, and people are obviously jumping on it. All right. So say for instance, at the end of the season, obviously, what a Man City are they 10 points ahead, but I still got a game in advance, right? Say for instance, either Liverpool win the league or Liverpool end up coming second. All right. So if we come second, listen, we ain't got no silverware from it. Standard. I want silverware. That's just my opinion. All right. So I wonder if his opinion then changes. Man City win the league, and say for instance we're just 3 or 4 points behind him. Is that then a bad season? Is he then saying that about us actually being bad champions? What is bad champions? Are we going out there to be turned over? Are we being over there playing defensive? Are we going out there playing players that the majority of people feel should not be a representation of our club? The answer is no. So when he's talking about bad champions, I wish he'd actually extend on that. And Roy, if you're listening, please do. Jump on, subscribe. Please extend on it. What is the basis of a bad champion? Is it because we're not getting results? Is he jumping on the fact that we've lost 3 games at home? It's not like we're going out there wanting that.
He seems to think we ain't got the hunger. So there's a question in here. Let me see if I can find it. Someone's come up with this as well. I missed it. Let me see. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. Zacchaeus Forbes.
Cool.
Zacchaeus Forbes, thank you very much for your question. I'll ask you again. Do you think success has killed your hunger? This is an interesting question, like, because see me, right? I don't want to throw my toys out of the pram. I prefer to understand why. And the thing is, when you take that approach to things to try and understand why, you don't lose your shit.
No.
Pardon my French. You don't, because the context starts coming into it, right? Others might say excuses, but they are facts that are undeniable. Yes, we went and won a league that we haven't won in 30 years, right? And we not only won the league, but we did it over a 3-year period.
That's the point that I'm saying.
There has to be a drop-off. There has to be, naturally. Now, throw into that equation COVID, throw into that equation a lack of a preseason, which everyone else had, but I argue that not everyone else 3 years leading up to a lack of a preseason and played the volume of games that we've played.
Yeah.
Given how far we've gone in competitions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I would add that no one else had the amount of injuries that we've had this season. So when you add all of that context, which others will now put in the comments and say excuses, right? Yeah. They're just facts.
Yeah. They are facts. And as you said, you said it clearly. Any team functioning at the level that we actually do, or any team, as an example, wishing to break, then firstly within the top 4, and then actually make sure they've won the league, as Liverpool have actually done, there will be a drop off. That is just exactly what actually happens, and it's got nothing to do with the intensity that Klopp actually plays at. These are just facts.
Yeah,
you know, these will happen. There's lots of factors. There's lots of factors involved in it.
A perfect season. Do you understand? Until COVID, almost had a perfect season until COVID hit, and we won, and we'd won the league. Then it dropped off. There's that 1% mentality, the tidiness, the relief, whatever you want to call it, right?
And that will happen.
And then you've got injuries on top of that. Like, come on, these guys are humans. They're not robots, right? The sad thing for me, and I'm speaking directly to Liverpool fans out there, you lot are spoiled and entitled. And I'm a Liverpool fan.
We were speaking about that as well.
If you want, I don't care. You're spoiled and entitled. You understand? Like, you listen to people like Roy Keane hype. You get bantered by your friends, and you haven't got broad shoulders to take it. Now you're talking smack about Klopp. He's making mistakes and blah 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 blah. And FSG are not investing. Yes, they're not. The FSG have moved how FSG have always moved.
Exactly.
You understand? They are people who are fiscally. What's the word I'm looking for? Conservative. Fiscally conservative.
And you're right.
They're going to change their game now and suddenly start dashing money at things. It's not how they operate. So why is that your expectation? Like, reevaluate your expectations. And if you're reacting emotionally just because rival fans and your besties or your mates are now throwing you memes and all kinds of things and it's hurting your soul, I get it. I fully get it. But guess what?
You know, it's just a crazy. The crazy thing is, right? The crazy thing is, and you're right in saying that, as well as they said. You know, I've got quite a lot of Liverpool fans and supporters that I communicate with, and fans of other clubs that also have a wealth of knowledge and experience as well at their teams, and obviously on the current issues that they wish to try and amplify for Liverpool at the moment. But just going back to what you were saying about our club owners, this isn't new. I would prefer for us to actually be building something long term, right? Than be throwing all of our money in something short term, and then the tide changes and that we're not up there winning honours. It's a long term project, and this is what's meant to happen. We're not a little club.
Stoney, here's the thing, though, right? People say take out a loan, go to the bank, do this, that, and the other, bruv, right? Who in their right mind takes out a loan when you don't know what the circumstances are going to be in a year or two? How are you taking out a loan when you don't know how you're going to pay the loan back? We don't know when fans are going back into the stadium. We don't know what the TV rights are. We don't know what we're going to do in terms of where we're going to finish in the league and rare tear. And you're saying take out a loan. Like, would you do that with your own finances? Are you going to lease a car not knowing how you're going to pay for the car in a year's time? Like, listen, you part-time accountants, allow it. Allow it. Yeah, leave it to the professionals, innit? Like, allow it, please. Like, I wouldn't have you lot managing my accounts. That's all I'm saying. I would not.
Not one bit.
I 100% would not. Anyway, listen, I'm getting emotional right now.
No. Sam for Life has got a nice comment here. I like this.
Big up, Sam. Yeah, big up. Are you guys now focused on top 4, or is the title still on? Listen, bruv, right? Sam, I told you in the preview show, I said, listen, forget the title chase right now. Me personally, I can't speak for other Liverpool fans. I don't want to, right? Me personally, I'm focused on the next game. I'm focused on Leicester City.
And that's Leicester.
I'm focused on Leipzig. That's what I'm focused on. I don't care about the title. We won it last year. I'm still living off the fumes. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I'm living off the fumes. So forget the title. I just want to win the next game, right? Yeah. I feel like, let's talk about the centre-backs quickly whilst we're on this topic. People are like, oh, you bought 2 centre-backs. Why didn't he play them? Because they're not computers. You can't just program them. This is how Liverpool plays, and you put them straight into the team, and it's all good. Yes, we all want Henderson and Fabinho back in the midfield, and it will have a massive impact. But you can't just drop them in. Like, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
If you don't.
Played them today and we got smashed. Oh, he's flopped. He should have spent more money. There's always something else.
Yeah,
there's always something else. My statement is this, and I'll pause so you can talk, right?
Yeah.
At what point does Klopp earn the benefit of the doubt?
They're going to give it.
My man's done for 3 years. He's come in and done something that we ain't been able to do for 30 years, and yet you still got people out there second guessing him like they know better.
Do you know what it is? What I like now, I see as, and it's a strange thing, I almost see the fact that people are investing their time, they're investing their comments in Liverpool, means that we're a threat. And you know what? I actually appreciate that. So all of the opposition fans out there, all the opposition supporters, use that opportunity to come at us, because it means we're on your tongue. It means that you ain't sleeping well at night, because Liverpool are a threat.
Rent-free. We're living rent-free in their heads. Listen, we're living rent-free in their heads. And I've always said this. If your manager's no good, we've got Pato joining us. I'm just trying to add it to the stream. Welcome, girl. How are you? Yes, that's right. We're still flying the flag out here. We're still flying the flag. We're hurt, but we're flying the flag.
No tears, Pato. We're here, man.
No tears, you're right.
Hey, listen, how does our song go?
How are we?
At the end of the storm. At the end of the storm.
At the end of the storm.
Yeah.
The golden sky.
Golden sky. Exactly. Walk on with your head held. Listen, don't piss me off.
Seriously, man.
Right. Let's deal with this question real quick, and then Pato will give you a chance to give your views on the game. Is Trent a better defender than AVB? That's from Mr. B. Listen.
And he's a Man United supporter, isn't he?
Listen, right? Okay. I'm going to give you a sensible answer, even though I feel the question wasn't sensible, right? Nobody's ever said that Trent is a better defender than AVB, right? What I've personally said is that the gap in how good AVB is defensively, right, and the gap that Trent is as good as Trent's not as good as him defensively, but that defensive gap is not as big as the gap when you talk about the attacking side of the game. Trent is head and shoulders beyond AVB, right?
Yeah,
that's a massive gap, right? So, and then to dead this argument, it's really simple for me. Give 10 international managers a choice. Do we have Trent Arnold or do we have AVB? I rest my case.
Exactly. So, Mr. B, are you listening loud and clear there, yeah?
Not all talking. Yeah? Don't put questions like that again. It's silly. It's really silly. Pato, wait, hang on. Tell me, Stoney, what do you think about this Trent AVB question?
Do you know the thing is? There's a bigger picture here, right? And I think it's important that even though Mr. B asked a valid question, I think it's important probably sometime not to try and be comparing both, all right? We've got two exceptional young fullbacks that are able to represent their teams in the Premiership and also able to represent their teams on an international scale. They're both young, they're both developing, and they're both learning. I have a preference for the information that you mentioned about Trent, and I'm sure Mr. B will be able to have a lovely point why he'd actually appreciate having Wan-Bissaka. But Trent will always be in my camp. Always. It's just hands down.
Stoney, I think it would be most people's camp.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not a Man United fan and you're given a choice of either, even Man United right now, give Ole the choice. Like, he's picking Trent. Like, let's not get it twisted, right? It is what it is, yeah. Defensively, yes, but we're playing in a team that plays on the front foot. We very rarely have to defend. We're having to do that right now, so you need someone who's better on the ball. Simple as, right? Man United, with the park the bus system, probably need someone who's better at defending. So it makes sense. It makes sense that you got him right now. But if you want to play front foot football, which is what we want to do, we're going Trent all day. Simple.
And you know what? Can I just throw something in here for Mr. B? I do apologize because you're obviously talking about who do you think's better. What's Wan-Bissaka's stats on collective clean sheets, and what's his stats for assists and goals? Put it in the chat, Mr. B, and then we can look at stats, because remember, myself, Patter, or Stitches haven't made those stats. Those stats are out there. So take a little time, go on the internet and put it in the chat, and then we see about stats. Yeah.
Guna Ranger, thanks for your question. But just before we take your question, Guna Ranger, thanks for sharing that. Pato, talk to me, darling. What's going on? Like, how you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling frustrated, actually, disappointed, sad. We let ourselves down today. We let ourselves down. I think as well, once Alisson made the two blunders, absolute blunders, the whole dynamics changed, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
We sort of dropped that when it was 3-1. We were just, it was
steam went out of us,
didn't the heads went down. Last 20 minutes, our boys were absolutely shattered.
Yeah.
I thought they were shattered.
Yeah.
They were fatigued. We didn't create enough.
Yeah.
We had to take Thiago off early. Well, we had to take him off, didn't we, because of the yellow card.
Yeah.
He was a lot of risky challenges, actually, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So he needed to come off.
He needs to come off. He was on a yellow.
Also, I think when I'm looking at the was it the Sterling goal, and our back four, they were all just stood still.
Yeah.
Weren't they? They weren't really doing much.
I think we spoke about that earlier as well, Pato.
Oh, did you? Sorry, I've been.
No, it's good. No. Your opinion's valid.
To say your piece.
Yeah.
We weren't creative enough. We haven't been creative enough. We're not the team of old, are we?
Well, we're not. There's players missing. And again, look,
Robbo didn't have a good game either. Don't think he was. I don't know whether the boss took him off for the rest or took him off because he wasn't happy with him. I don't know.
Took who off? Sorry, Winnie.
Robbo. No.
Oh, Robbo. I think the game was gone, and he just took the opportunity to rest him. I think that's what my thoughts are. Look, I think perhaps we might have rushed. We might have rushed Alisson back too quickly. We might have rushed
maybe
back.
Still, could be still on nightmares, couldn't he? Do you know what I mean? He'd be on top. God knows what he's on.
Yeah.
What Carriers takes? Maybe Carriers, them tablets that he used to be on.
That's an interesting question, though. Let me ask a question. What happens now, though, guys? What happens now, though?
What else? Oh, sorry. Go on.
What happens now, though, right? Because we've seen this with a goalkeeper before, where they made critical mistakes at a critical time. Obviously, not as high profile as when it was Karius in the Champions League final. But me personally, my view is, you know what? Alisson has been there for us so many times that we got to stand by him. Our motto is "You never walk alone." But I know there'll be fans online right now talking a whole heap of smack about him.
How long's Alisson been? How long's Alisson been at our club for?
He has been ill, so he's obviously still ill.
Yeah, but
even if he's forced, he's obviously that's not Alisson.
But we're not allowed to say these things.
That's Alisson who we know. And I'll tell you another thing. I was very surprised, and I'm sure you too, because none of us mentioned him. Jones.
Yeah,
that was a left field pick.
Yeah.
I think the whole team did the same. I think they were like, sure.
But you know what? He played well.
Do you think?
He played really well. I thought he did. I don't know. Like, Stoney, what's your view? I thought he played well.
All right, so two things. I'm just going to ask.
He was in front of the goal, wasn't he? When actually wasn't it him in front on the Sterling goal?
No,
on the Gundogan one.
When Alisson come first, when he first come out,
yeah,
Jones was there and he didn't cover him, did he? He could have helped cover Alisson.
Okay. I don't remember. I'll have to watch it
again. Which one it was?
But he's a youngster. He's a youngster. He's going to make these mistakes.
He just stood there and he didn't. He could have helped protect. I think he went behind Alisson and maybe should have went in front of him.
Pato, sorry.
Look at it again, guys.
I got disagree though. Like, there is no we can say all of this shoulda, coulda, woulda, woulda.
Oh, no.
Alisson's better than that, right?
Yeah. I'm not.
He's trying to do an L turn in the penalty area when there was no need for one. Like put his foot through it. Sometimes you got to, right? And then that second pass, he did it again. Like 5 minutes later,
he was warm before that as well.
Yeah,
but you know what? Look,
I'm not getting on him. But that's on him. That is on him.
Yeah, you know and the bigger picture is we've had him for that period of time, and I think if we're honest, and if our viewers are there, if everybody on the chat is honest, the period of time that Alisson's been at our club, you can probably count on one hand the amount of errors that he's actually made. All right.
Yeah.
So today was 2. He'll take it on the chest. I'm sure he's highly decorated. He's won lots of honours for Liverpool. He's played at an international level. He is a world-class goalkeeper. He'll take it on the chin and will bounce back and he'll be ready for the Leicester game. It's one of those things there. It just so happens that it was, a very, very, very high, a game of high importance.
Yeah.
And people are going to be focused on that. These things happen.
Yeah, but I do wonder what's been going on in the training ground then this week with the 2 new centre-backs. Have they been playing in the training grounds? And
I think they have.
Why haven't they? Why?
Because they're not.
Why
they're not
used.
They won't be ready.
They're not robots.
Not yet.
They're not robots.
Not yet.
It's not like you download some software and you plug it into the back of their neck and you go, that's how Liverpool play. And you're like, that's not how it works. These guys have to get used to the system. They got to know, they come from totally different systems to playing in us.
Stitches, then we're going to continue to have problems while we keep putting Hens out and Fabinho in the back 4.
Absolutely.
We're never going to resolve it then, are we?
Absolutely.
But do you know what?
We're never going to. It's just a matter of time, though.
Yeah.
They're going to come. Look, we were talking about it just before you came on. We were saying he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Because if he played them tonight, or one of them tonight,
and it was the same result.
Meh, right? Yeah. All of a sudden, everyone's on him. Or why did you rush it? You should have waited till this. There's always going to be what the manager didn't do. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. Everyone's got after the fact.
Also, on your debut, you're allowed to make it. I think you'd be allowed. You could get away with a mistake more than what.
Pato, do you know what? With all of these other supporters out there sharpening their knives, they would have been ready for those players. They would have been ready for us as Liverpool supporters. And I believe a lot of the comments would have been saying, as an example for Davies, they would be saying, £1 million for Preston, championship player. You're meant to be Liverpool. You're meant to be XYZ. I don't think the young man would have needed it as part of his development.
Sky Sports would have had a whole show about us.
Yeah.
They would have had Roy Keane would have been like loving it. Oscar the Grouch. He would have had a field day. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think so. Let's take this question. Zacchaeus Forbes again. Cool. Stop whining. Just stop it. You got to bust it. Accept that the better team won. Build a squad that can compete. Mate, you're absolutely right. Yeah, we did get a bussing. Nobody's whining. But I predicted this, didn't I? I said we state facts, but it's whining. That's because it makes them feel better. It makes them feel better about themselves, right? Right, we're whining and we've got all these issues, but we're above. I think he's a Tottenham fan, right? But we're still above him.
Yeah.
Like, how can a Tottenham fan come on a show and try and bring it to me? Like, really? Right, behave yourself. Like, yes, okay. So build a squad that can compete. Okay, listen, right? Not everyone's got City's money in it. We don't operate like that. That's a fact, right? City built that squad over a period of time with a lot of money. How much have they spent on defensive players?
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? How much have they spent? We bought Robertson for 10 million. That's what that's what we're competing with.
Yeah.
And
how much do you pay for Gomez? Like 2 mil from Charlton? So
as for most teams, right? Show me, I keep saying this, show me another team that you take out between 5 and 8 of their first team players at any given time and show me them competing in the same way that we're doing. Right? So you could talk about the worst champions ever. You could say stop whining. You could say that it doesn't change the facts. Those are the facts. Do you understand? So I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting
Who's
that.
whining?
Apparently we're whining because we're saying stop whining. Right, what else have you? Well, here we go. This guy's got a lot of questions for us today. Yeah. Where is it? I've lost it now. Zacchaeus Forbes again.
Okay.
Do you think playing recognised centre backs would have made a difference, Pato? This is on your point that you were talking about, because I think you think playing the recognised centre backs would have made a difference today.
The recognised.
I think he's talking about. I think he's talking about the new signings that we bought. I think that's what he's alluding to. The two centre backs.
Right. Okay. We don't know, do we?
We don't know. Yeah,
and that's what I said. Hindsight's a lovely thing.
I do think. I mean, what time was it when he brought Simicas on?
Simicas.
Oh, that was like 80-something minutes when it's like 75 minutes or something like that.
Maybe why not do that with one of them then? Because what was the point of that?
The game was gone.
We can't judge him, can we, on his performance because we didn't see much of him.
Yeah.
Same.
So look, this is a question that's coming up with Liverpool fans at the moment, off the back of, because there's a lot of talk about selection, what Klopp is doing, his choices and stuff. What's your view on Klopp himself? Let's analyze him. Is he doing terribly right now? Do you think he's losing it a little bit? Do you think that he's making mistakes? Do you think the buck stops with him in terms of what the team is doing right now? Do you think he deserves the criticism that he's receiving right now? What are your views?
I think he's probably his own biggest critic.
Yeah.
And he's probably, how's it going to be his fault? Has he injured them?
No, but we're not allowed to talk about injuries. We're not allowed. It's not allowed.
I know. I think the only thing that he has.
Fault they've injured our boys.
I know. I think the only thing that he's mentioned in a recent in a recent interview, he was commenting about the game time that he would have liked Minamino to have had at Liverpool, and it was quite interesting. He was quite honest, and he was saying that possibly he probably could have given him more game times. It probably could have been more games that Minamino could have featured for us, but it was amicable, and hopefully the experience down at Southampton, he'll get Premiership game time and he'll come back a much greater player. I think that's the only thing that he's probably commented about. Other than that, I agree on what Pato said. He ain't injured nobody, and if he's
Just to expand, this is the thing, right? A lot of fans and a lot of pundits and a lot of people out there criticize, but they're viewing the game in 2D. They don't realize that they're playing a 5D chess master, right? Mm. So when we talk about Klopp and Minamino as an example, right? Klopp, I heard that conversation, but the bit that most people miss is he said part of the reason he couldn't give Minamino more minutes is because the teams that we play have very big players.
Yeah.
Right? And they on set pieces, how's Minamino defending against Dunk? How's Minamino defending against Tchaikovsky from Burnley? and those teams where they landed the Giants. Like, you might be able to compete technically, but when they get a set piece, it's curtains. So he's like, so we don't even consider these things in squad selection, but it comes into it. It comes into it. So these are the little things that people don't understand. And I feel like they see things on the surface without having all the insights and all the things with the moving parts that the manager's making decisions about, and they make a judgment. You know what I mean? Guna Ranger again.
He picked the best out of what he's got, can't he? He hasn't got much selection at the moment.
He hasn't right now. Guna Ranger says, your only big miss is Van Dijk. You should be doing better, or was he the main reason for your recent success?
Can I answer that at all? Is it possible for me to respond? Thanks, Guna Ranger. So yeah, Guna Ranger, as in the gentleman's little flag there. I know he's an Arsenal supporter, so that's fine. And I know he's a man of knowledge. He's watched a lot of Premiership footballs. I believe he was alive the last time Arsenal won the league as well. So that's there for you, Guna. But sorry, on a real note, if you think of it, and you're saying about whether it's Van Dijk, we brought in Jota to at least give us some additional opportunities, an offensive play. He's not there as well. And obviously Gomez and Van Dijk are out. So those straight away would have been three players that would normally have been part of our starting lineup. So I don't think anybody should become disillusioned about that, you know? And as you said, when you have players missing for various reasons, they have a knock-on effect on the way that the rest of the team actually functions. And this is what we're clearly seeing. It's not an excuse. These are facts.
So listen, facts don't matter in this day and age. Yeah, judging by some of the comments that I'm seeing here. Cool. New viewer on the show, I think his name's Niche. Welcome to the post-match review show. Liverpool 24 points off worse than they were at this point last season. Is that solely down to injuries or key players, or are you not just a dead team this season? I think mentally, physically, there's been an impact. I think the injuries have a massive impact, whether you like to agree or not. That's facts. I think there's a lot of factors. When you don't have a deep squad and you're playing matches in a short duration, as we're doing, and you don't have the luxury to make squad changes as other teams can, like City can pretty much play a whole new defensive line next game, right? That helps. It helps. And it's not any defensive line. It's probably like a £50 million player. Do you know what I'm saying? We're bringing in Reece Williams and we're bringing in Nat Phillips. You know, and people mention Van Dijk being our only injury. Just to touch on that last point, it's not the fact that Van Dijk is injured. It's the impact. Because it's actually more than one player to replace him, more than one player to replace Matic. So that has a compounding effect on how our team does. And people don't seem to want to accept that. Again, it's going to be considered an excuse, but I hope that knowledgeable fans, you know, are able to, you know, look at that. But look, Pato, as we're saying, like, where do we go from here? That's a question. You know, what next for Jürgen and the boys? What do we need to do in the next game that you think gets us the victory?
Well, hopefully prepare the two centre-backs to come in. Surely they're going to be coming in at some stage. Also, Van Dijk is training, isn't he? Joss is training. Isn't Joss expected back maybe next week?
The next couple of weeks. The guy scored 8 goals for us, but people don't think it has an impact that he's injured. Apparently, we can't count Jota. He's not in your title-winning team, but he was helping us win. But you know, you see what I mean? It's revisionist, isn't it? Like Jota scored 8 goals.
Squad, didn't he? No problem.
Thank you, Pat.
How many teams have a player that scored 8 goals this season that's not available to them right now? And would that not be impactful?
Exactly, of course.
I don't know, man. I don't know where these questions are coming from. Right, we've got another new viewer, VPBXT811.
Excellent.
Also, Trent is not a good defender. Great going forward, but Sterling had him on toast. What's your thoughts? I think Sterling has most people on toast when he plays. So
said he was going to be a threat, and he was.
It was always going to be, and I think they used him
there to
well.
scare him. He's scared of the fans, and he didn't have that there. He knew he had a free for all with no fans.
Yeah, but yeah, you've got a good comment there on VP Baxter 11. That's a really good comment. And just to extend on what Stitches was saying, listen, Sterling is an amazing player anyway, right? So he would have done that to most fullbacks. My question to you, and I'd love you to actually respond to that in the chat. Would you have Trent at Spurs? Because I know you support Tottenham. Yeah. So as much as you're saying that he's not a good defender, would you have him at Spurs? Put it in the chat, VP Baxter. I'd love it.
Who plays that position at Spurs? Aurier. Is it Aurier?
Yeah. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, Baxter.
Yeah. Interesting. So look, he's got another question whilst we're going through it. Cool. But City are missing their two best players, Aguero and De Bruyne, and they're still on fire. Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to discount the fact that there's no arguing, Aguero and De Bruyne, I'd agree, are their two best players. But their replacement for those players are worth what? are internationals that would walk into most other teams in the Premier League. What are our
replacements they've got?
What are our replacements? Do you understand? What are our replacements? Last year they had an injury to what's his name, the centre back. Name's gone missing now. He's not even getting in their team this year, but he was their best defender last year, centre back. Oh, man's gone blank. Anyway, right? Laporte was injured last season, right?
Yeah.
What did they do? Went out and bought a defender for how much? 50 million? Yeah, we've just gone and bought two defenders for 2 million, right? But obviously it doesn't make a difference because we're Liverpool and we're expected to create miracles. Do you know what I mean? Because I'll be told I'm making excuses as well. Like AVB always has Sterling in his pocket.
Okay.
Yeah, because you've got another 10 defenders around him when he's defending against him. You know those two buses you've parked up for Sterling? That's why.
Oh, dear.
All right, so Don P. So Stitches, should you not be holding your owners accountable for not having replacements? Yes and no. Yes and no. That's a fair question. Yeah, we should. But given that we understand how they operate, and they're operating within those parameters, it's like, why am I going to get upset at someone who's acting the way they've always acted?
Yeah.
Like that's on me then. It's stupid. Why am I going to get mad? This is what they've always done. And I have a choice to either go on with it or stop watching. And I choose to keep supporting my team. It is what it is. Whether they get a centre-back in or a right-back or whatever that we need, or go to the bank and get a loan, that I support LFC. I don't support the fiscal policy. So that's my answer to that question. Yeah, so saying there's a theme around these questions that keep going on. I'm not, same old. I can't keep answering the same thing over and over again. Like, who else have we got in here? Let's just deal with some more questions. Are there any that I've missed? How do we rate Salah's performance today? That's a good question.
I thought he was okay, actually.
Yeah? Stoney, what are you thinking?
I want Pat. I would appreciate if Pato can extend for me, please. Oops. On Salah's performance.
Why do you think he played well? What did he do that you quite liked?
I thought he was trying to get the tempo going. He's always going for goal. Do you know what I mean? He was still trying. It wasn't his. I mean, look at the first 30 minutes, or even more. Man City couldn't get out there, though, no?
Yeah.
Good thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We helped them.
We did.
We did help. We were. They just couldn't get out. But I do think, I don't think Salah had a bad game at all. I thought he was still trying to push the team. It's just that he wasn't getting enough chances, was he?
No, we don't seem to be creating many chances for him. And that's the thing. He's top goal scorer in the league. And I'm interested to see how many of those chances were created for him or self-made. Like, for me, he adds a sense of urgency into our attacking impetus. I think that his speed and his directness keeps people honest. Defenders have to be aware all the time that he's around. I feel that one of the things that people don't give credit enough for him is he doesn't hide. He doesn't hide. He's always still running, still trying to, get in those pockets and pick up the ball or try to isolate a left back or a right back or the defenders. But you got to get the ball to him early. I mean, one chance today came from the fact that Trent played an early ball in. It was him one-on-one with the defender. The defender panicked and he got in behind. And that's what led to the penalty. So I think he did okay. He wasn't like amazing, but he wasn't terrible. He didn't,
and he didn't have much space, did he?
Didn't have much to work with.
Didn't have nothing.
Stoney, you've been quiet. You've not said much on that.
No. Do you see in the first half? I thought it was quite interesting, and we're just focusing on the Salah because that was raised by Zacharias Forbes. Yeah. I found in the first half when he was in advanced positions in previous games, he would probably be looking to play on whatever that player he was either one-on-one against or two-on-one. But I found when he was in those positions, he almost slowed the game down and waited for the rest of our players to come with him, and then we then moved up as a team. That may well have been an instruction that he was given by Klopp or our coaching staff. But yeah, in the first half, if anybody has an opportunity to look back, when he was in those positions, I know Curtis Jones did it a few times. They got up like there was one like they could beat the player, but then they slowed down and wait for the rest of the team to advance, and they don't usually play like that. So I don't know. That's why it's good to have somebody else's opinion. I can also then review back the game as well and look at it. So I thought he had a mixed game.
That's a fair point, so this is interesting. This is be careful what you wish for, right? When Salah first hit the scene, in those positions, he wasn't looking for any help.
I know.
He was direct. He was looking to hurt a man. He was like, I'm coming at you. Stop me if you can, right?
Don't you think he tends to do that more when he plays in the centre? More central, because he'll run through the middle. Likes to run through the middle than on the wing.
I felt wherever he was on the pitch, he used to do that.
Yeah.
The turning point for me was when the media hyped up about Salah being greedy, and they made it a thing.
Yeah.
And LFC fans started jumping on it. Then he had that issue with Mane where he didn't see him and didn't pass him the ball, even though Mane's done that many times as well, but no issue's ever been made of it. But an issue made of it, and I notice now that he's hesitant.
Right.
Hesitant, like he's second guessing himself now. Right. So this is why I say sometimes as LFC fans, we've got to be a bit smarter than just jumping on the latest hype and the latest thing that everyone else wants to push. Like, I had this debate with other LFC fans. I said, all right, so if he starts passing and we don't score, bearing in mind he's our top goal creator as well. Yeah. Assists are top as well as goals. So if he stops shooting all the time and he starts passing, and we don't score as many goals, are you going to be happy?
That's true.
I said it's been prophetic, right? We're not scoring as many goals. He's passing a lot more. He's pausing now rather than going direct, which was one of his key weapons. He's checking back in now, playing it, linking play. And this is what I'm saying. Like, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Damned if you don't, yeah.
And he's still the leading goal scorer.
Thank you.
So this is an interesting question again, all on the fiscal theme. We've covered this over and over, but Pipe 71, thanks for your question. You build when you're strong. FSG have not backed Klopp sufficiently. From my perspective, I've said this many a time. Go and understand the books. Go and understand the fiscal position. Go and look at the accounts. I've done that, right? And to understand the real situation. COVID has come at the craziest time. We were on the verge of capitalizing on our success in terms of building wealth, right? But as it stands this year, we're going to post losses of £42 million. Despite winning the league, despite winning the Champions League, despite winning, the World Club Championship. So when you say when you're strong, what are you talking about? Are you talking about us being strong on the football pitch? Or are you talking about us being strong on the balance sheet. Because yes, we're relatively strong compared to where we were, but we're not. Do you know what I mean? And bearing in mind, we paid some of the highest wages in the league as well. Right? So do we spend more on transfers, or do we spend more stopping players that we value from being nicked by other clubs because they offer them better packages? Like, again, damned if you do, damned if you don't. A lot of people speak from a point of ignorance. And I'm not saying that in terms of I'm trying to insult anyone. I'm not. I mean, I'm ignorant until I learn something. So when you don't know what the accounts are saying and you don't know all of that, it's easy to point the hand and say, why didn't they buy this? And why have we not spent 50 million? Why aren't we spending 200 million buying Mbappe? Why are we doing this? Because we get to know in it. Like, do you not get me personally? I get bored in it after a while. If I don't understand something or something keeps happening and I'm thinking, I don't get why this keeps happening. What do? I do research to see what the situation is, what's the dynamics, right? And out of that, you learn something. So if it keeps happening and they want success, whatever you think about FSG, right? They're not like Hicks and Gillette. They're not. They're light years away from them because they're not leveraging debt on the club. Right? They're trying to make the club self-sufficient without pumping their own money in it. They're trying to bring in good practices to get the club to value up, right? Yes, they are businessmen, but as businessmen, they only make money if LFC is profitable. So how does LFC become profitable? By making the product good, by making it a club that's got good investors in it, by making it successful on the football pitch. Right? If they don't do all those things, they don't get paid. They're not able to flip the club for triple or 5 times the value that they bought it for. So in a roundabout way, we're all on the same page. They want the same things we want.
Yeah.
They're just going about it not in the time frames that we want them to go about it or in the way that we want them to go. We've got an expectation because we're fans and we're emotional. And you wouldn't run your own budgets in the way that you talk about LFC being run. Go and get a loan. Just go and buy a player. Because, that's what we do in life. We just go and get a loan. Come on, man. Like, you've got to increase your understanding of what it is. And the second point, on Klopp, having not backed Klopp sufficiently, I don't think Klopp is the kind of manager that stays at a club where he doesn't have backing. If he felt he wasn't being backed, I think he's gone. And he could walk into pretty much any job in the world.
Yeah.
Right? 100%. He might be frustrated at the speed that things happen at sometimes because he wants it now. But I don't think it's a case that he's not being backed.
Also,
he wouldn't be. Why would he sign a 5-year deal?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, that's my answer. I've been quite extensive in answering it. What are your thoughts, Pato? What do you think?
Yeah, I was just going to say as well, aren't we due to be starting the Annie Road as well?
Yeah, building up the stadium.
Isn't that supposed to start this year?
That's investment that they've got a loan on the behalf of the club to build. Right, so it's not on them, it's the club, but they've backed it. So if the club's not unable to pay, they pay.
Yeah.
Right, so I don't know.
But regarding the question of do they back Klopp?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I totally agree. Of course, they must have to because he would walk. He doesn't mince his words, does he? Jürgen?
No.
And the league for 30 years, and you're saying they don't back him. Are you mad?
And John Henry actually goes to Anfield as well. Do you know what I mean? And watches the game and does have talks quite a lot with Jürgen, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So he definitely does back him. Whereas the other two, you never saw them. You didn't really see them, did you? At Anfield?
No.
You didn't see them at Anfield or hear about them talking or sending messages, or they were they just kept their backsides in the USA. But he is very involved. I've met him. I've met John at Anfield.
What's he like?
He was nice. Yeah, he was with his wife. Got a picture, of course. yeah. No, he was. He was actually nice.
Good.
And he chatted as well. He was quite chatty, but he was in a bit of a rush. It was straight out the stadium. He was with his wife, and there was a few, and he had all the bodyguards with them as well. He was obviously getting straight going to the airport. I think he was going back to America, but yeah, he is involved, and he likes Liverpool. I believe he likes Liverpool, and I believe he likes the city.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
People think there's humans behind it.
I do think he does back Klopp. I do, but Klopp's ain't no divvy. Do you know what I mean?
He's not.
So he'd walk.
Yeah. Stoney, what's your views on it?
I think both yourself and Pato have probably said more than I could ever have said. So I appreciate that. I've got nothing to add, unfortunately.
Okay, brilliant. Well, look, we're getting into an hour of this show now, so we need to start wrapping things up. First of all, thank you everyone for the questions. We've got the Ali Osborne show wrapping up the football week, which is actually on now. So we'd like people to finish here and go and support that show. That would be brilliant. But just before we go, the final question, which we'll leave on, is what do you think success is for LFC this season? That's a very good question. Thank you very much, Don P.
Yeah, that's very, very, very good.
Pato, do you want to take this?
Oh, what successes?
What would you consider to be success this season?
But listen, we're still in Champions League.
Yeah.
Maybe that, that's still something to go for. We've done it before.
Yeah.
Just concentrated on that because that was all we had left to concentrate on.
Yeah.
So why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Stoney?
Yeah, let's go for that.
Yeah, I think once again as well, it's an excellent question as well, Don P. Deeply appreciate that. Spurt supporter as well. Has been on a few of the shows. So I think success can probably be looked in different directions. All right. Success could be winning silverware. Success can be returning back to the level of performances that us as Liverpool family expect. Success could also mean the development of our two new purchase centre backs and them actually getting game time for us to actually see how they actually settle in to how's expected for us to play. So success for us, they can be in lots of different areas. So silverware, our players settle in and returning back to good performances.
And is that what it is for you? Personally?
Yeah, that's what it is for me. Yeah.
It is for you. Yeah. For me, I think success in this season is consolidating top four and either winning the Champions League or having a good run in the Champions League.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Right? Because I know we'll go again. Yeah. We'll go again. There is no way on God's green earth that we're going to have another season like this with everything that's happened.
Yeah.
Right? And it's taken all of that to happen for people to be able to chat smack about us. So I'm all right. I'm all right. Because I know that all of these things can't happen again next year. You know what I mean? Or next season or whenever or for the whole of the season, whatever it may be. So, you know what? And yeah, I just want my team. I support my team, win, lose, or draw. I'm still here, right? Yeah. I just want to be able to be proud of the performances that they show. Today, I was proud of what I saw in the first half, not so much about the second half, but I understand why it happened. And I know that Klopp, I trust Klopp. He's earned that from me personally as a fan to turn that around. You know what I'm saying? You don't win the league last season and then not have that support from me. That's not how it works. Not even that. What I've seen over the last 3 years, I've seen plenty to see, you know, that we've got enough. No other manager, as far as I'm concerned, picks up the team where he picked it up from and delivers the success that we've seen.
Yeah.
No one else does. So, Jürgen, I know you're not listening, but if it ever gets to you, 100% behind you, bro. You never walk alone, sir. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Ignore the Roy Keanes of the world. Ignore the Gary Nevilles. Yeah. Ignore the comments from rival fans or, you know, LFC fans that, you know, want to flip flop and knee jerk. Don't worry about it. Keep doing what you're doing, sir. We're behind you. On that note, I've been FTB Stitches. This has been the post-match show. Pato, thank you very much for joining us. Keeping us connected with our Scouse heartland.
Also, I'd like to say thank you to all my friends who've all been, you know, viewing us, and especially fantastic. I've got a little friend. He's a real good LFC friend. I actually met him in Myanmar.
Oh wow!
A few years ago, he lives over here, and he's been to Anfield. I've took him to Anfield a few times. He's been putting a few little messages on. His name's Tor. So big thank you, Tor. Keep the messages coming.
We appreciate the support, sir.
And everybody else, keep sending your messages in.
Thank you.
Send all your questions as well, and subscribe.
Subscribe. That's right. Stoney, I'll let you take us out. What have you got to say?
I'd just like to say, you know, a wonderful show. Once again, thank you very much, Stitches. Thank you very much, Pato. Thank you very much for the audience that continue to tune in and believe in us. And we just look forward to the next game against Leicester. So thank you very much, everybody, and have a wonderful evening. And don't forget to tune into our other show, which is Stitches is obviously mentioned about as well.
Yeah, Carly's on right now, so please get over there, all of you. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the other side when we come. On that note, I'm not gonna